What NFL free agency moves affect fantasy teams? Are you ready to tackle how NFL free agency impacts your fantasy football team? Let's break down the key moves and what they mean for your roster. NFL free agency is a game changer. When players switch teams or resign, their fantasy outlook can shift dramatically. This can be due to the new team's offensive scheme, the quality of the supporting cast, and the depth chart. First, let's talk about quarterbacks. When a quarterback changes teams, their fantasy value can rise or fall based on the offensive system they join. For instance, if a quarterback like Sam Darnold moves from a strong offense to a less effective one, his fantasy value may decline. On the flip side, if a quarterback lands in a pass-heavy scheme with talented receivers, their value can increase. Veteran quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson might also see changes in their fantasy potential, depending on their new surroundings. Next up are running backs. A running back stepping into a starting role due to a teammate's departure or a new signing can see their fantasy stock soar. For example, if a player like Harris leaves a crowded backfield, he could become a top option, enhancing his fantasy appeal. However, if a running back joins a team with many competitors for touches, their value may take a hit. Wide receivers are also affected by free agency. When wide receivers change teams, their target share and scoring chances can fluctuate. Take Deebo Samuel, for instance. If he moves to a team with a new offensive scheme, his role might change, impacting his fantasy production. Wide receivers joining teams with strong quarterbacks or fewer receiving threats often see an uptick in their fantasy numbers. Tight ends and other positions are not exempt from these changes either. A tight end moving to a team that emphasizes passing can gain value, while other positional changes can shift the overall offensive balance, affecting fantasy opportunities for all players involved. The offensive system and coaching style are essential factors too. Players who fit well into a new system that highlights their skills tend to see their fantasy value rise. Conversely, moving to a run-heavy or conservative offense may limit their potential. In keeper and dynasty leagues, free agency moves are especially important. They can impact long-term player value and how you build your roster. Managers should consider not just immediate production but also how a player's role might evolve with a new team. For practical applications, keep a close eye on free agency signings. Adjust your draft strategies and waiver wire priorities accordingly. Target players who gain clearer roles or better supporting casts, and be cautious with those losing key teammates or moving to less productive offenses. Use free agency news to identify breakout candidates or potential busts before your drafts. Understanding how NFL free agency reshapes player situations is vital for making informed decisions in redraft, keeper, or dynasty leagues. Stay informed and make those strategic moves to boost your fantasy team.